Hi, my name is Peter. I'm 33 and I come from Northern Ireland in the UK. I've been in Russia for 6 months. I came here in January and I currently work in a preschool nursery and reception. Generally during the day we spend a lot of time with the kids chanting and singing simple songs and phonics. We colour in a lot, really basic things with kids learning English. And before my time in Russia, I spent 6 years in Korea. The first place I worked at was an all-English school, so all of the staff were English and the level of the kids' English was quite high. So during the day, similar to my school now, we spent a lot of time doing chanting, ABC, simple games, colouring in, workbooks, really simple stuff. And then in the afternoon, the older kids would come in. We would do something a little bit similar, but a little bit more difficult. We would work on simple grammar, more vocab, things like that. The second school I worked in Korea I was the only English teacher in Korea. I was the only English teacher in the school, so the level of the English in the kids wasn't so good. But after the 2 years I worked there, they made significant developments. We would spend a lot of time making things with these kids, a lot of games. Every Wednesday we would either have a field trip, go somewhere interesting with the kids, or myself and my colleague, we would make like a theme day with the kids, where it would be maybe a UK theme or an Australia theme, and just do simple things, maybe make simple food from the UK or from Australia, things like that. After those 2 years I moved to a public school, and in the public school it was much different to the kindergartens. I worked with maybe 23 or 24 kids in a class, and it was much more book work, obviously. We would generally start the lesson with a review or a simple song which would connect the previous lesson to the current lesson we're going to teach. So maybe after a song we would maybe use some flashcards, introduce new vocab and sentences that we're going to work on throughout the day. After that we would maybe split the children into pairs and get them to work together, and then we would tie it together with some sort of game. During my time in Korea I used a lot of PPT and multimedia, so I would bring a lot of that to the classroom. I think kids are generally interested in things that they connect easily with. So my methodology when it comes to teaching would be I like to be quite familiar with the kids, quite casual, and try to make them feel comfortable. I think it's very important that the kids, students like me. I try to make them laugh, I try to make them feel comfortable. I would try to find out things that they're interested in, whether it would be football, maybe they're wearing a football t-shirt, or music or hockey or art or anything, and just to try to break that barrier between student and teacher. I think that's very important. During my time in the last 3 years I also took on a lot of private students. And with these kids I would develop a lot of my own materials. I would maybe in the first lesson, the first 2 lessons, I would find out their level of English, and then I would go to the bookstore, buy a book for them, and use the book maybe 60% of the time in the class. On top of that I would just print out materials from the internet, find simple songs, or just basic communication and conversation, find out what they're interested in, talk to them, try to get as much out of them as possible, which has been quite successful over the time. As far as my education goes, I qualified from Queen's University in Belfast with a 2-1 in English, so that's been quite beneficial to me, teaching English in Korea and now in Moscow. My hobbies include sports. I'm a massive football fan. I like Liverpool Football Club. I'm trying to get interested in hockey, living in Moscow. And I like music, I like culture, art. all sorts of stuff. I like to travel, obviously, and I'm very much looking forward to meeting you.